Sudan, first of all. Now, this is John Stevens, who writes for the Mirror, and he's saying 2,000 British nationals still trapped in Sudan, told to stay indoors as fighting rages. Now, I've seen that number being as high as 4,000, so it's not clear exactly how many British nationals are there. It's also not clear what they were doing there. So if they are, in fact, working for NGOs and other organisations that might be funded by the Foreign Office, then recent developments become even more troubling if you happen to be there, because certainly betrayal would be the word that comes to mind. Because these people, these British nationals that have been in Sudan since the fighting broke out, have been talking for about a week now about the fact they're not getting any support from the Foreign Office in order to get them evacuated. In fact, the Foreign Office isn't even interested in who they are or where they are, apparently. They're saying that other national embassies in Sudan are compiling lists of their nationals that are in the countries with a view to preparing to getting them out. So anyway, we've just got a little video clip here. This is Ruth Lawson, and she is the Chargé d'Affaires in Sudan, talking about what British nationals should be doing.
I'm Ruth Lawson, the Chargé d'Affaires at the British Embassy in Khartoum, Sudan. I'm here in my home, sheltering down with my family. This is a deeply concerning time for Sudan, for Khartoum and all across the country. The UK Foreign Secretary has called for an immediate end to hostilities. We recommend that everyone remains in home, takes shelter, but please do continue to check our travel advice for further updates. This can be found on gov.uk.
Okay, so that was what she had to say. Stay in place, don't worry, or at least she's not even saying that. Just stay in place and don't move. In the meantime, what has the British government been doing? Well, they ran a military operation over the weekend to get the embassy staff out of Sudan. Well, here is James Cleverly, the Foreign Secretary, discussing that.
I'm in the FCDO Crisis Response Centre, where we have been working with our colleagues across government to extract the diplomats and their immediate families from Khartoum, because the situation had deteriorated and they were under direct threat. We're going to relocate their functions so that we can continue to support British nationals in Sudan, and we're working across government and with our friends and partners internationally on doing everything we can to keep British nationals safe. But ultimately, the best thing we can accomplish is to bring this fighting to an end. That's what we're focused on.
So actually, they're focusing on bringing the fighting to an end. I'm not quite sure how they intend to achieve that. They're not focused on helping the British nationals that are there. And this is very much the message from people that are stuck in the country. Some people stuck in the country without even electricity to power mobile phones and so on, and they're getting very concerned that you know, without regular power supplies, that they're going to be able to continue to stay in contact with people. So this is a very dangerous situation for some, and the British government apparently not caring too much about it. But Tobias Ellwood had something to say, because he tweeted this out. There could be no doubt that this was a highly complex and dangerous mission. Well done to all involved. Attention must now turn to establishing safe exit routes for the few thousand UK passport holders still in Sudan. So Tobias Ellwood, of course, chair of the Defence Select Committee, but the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, also defending the government's position on this and really saying nothing to put pressure on the Foreign Office or the government to help the people that are in Sudan. Tobias Ellwood had more to say about the broader situation. The fighting in Sudan priority is now initiating UK evacuation plan, but it's important to understand the bigger picture, because we must not forget it's all Russia's fault. Russia and the Wagner Group have armed both sides in return for exploiting Sudan's goal to pay for the Ukraine war. Is his latest attempt to justify the position that UK has taken on Sudan for the last period of time. But nonetheless, any excuse, David, for a bit of anti-Russian propaganda. But I don't think betrayal is too strong here, because people have been left to their own devices in a deteriorating situation and no support from the UK government.
Yes. And Ellwood says, oh, a few thousand. It's just a few thousand. It's 4,000. British passport holders are still in the country,
including men, women, and
4,000
children.
a day. Yes, and they're making sure. Well, we'll get the diplomats to safety. Is it not meant to be the other way about? I mean, did we not have a situation where we sent a guy called Gordon to Khartoum and he defended it for like 18 months while being surrounded by a hostile army, and was killed defending the people of Khartoum? You know, we used to not cut and run. Now, okay, there were several issues with the Gordon campaign because it was kind of slightly unauthorised, but nevertheless, whatever else it was courageous. I don't really see much courage here from dear old British government anymore.
But it doesn't end there because, the Ukraine war, here it is. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. Now, this isn't going to be, I'm not going to talk about the conflict itself today. I want to explain why I say it's the gift that keeps on giving. Because the British Embassy in Kyiv has decided that it's going to accept policy proposals for the financial years 2023 and 2024 and 2024 to 2025, pending funding from not-for-profit organisations operating in Ukraine. And what could this be about? Well, this is what they say. They say war is a catalyst for change. However, such change is not limited to military development. Government structures, processes, and policies must also develop at a pace. So let's take advantage of the situation. Let's make sure we can get our agendas in and get government structures changed in a model that we would like. So let's have a look and see. I've just chosen a few items from the list here. So David, you'll be very interested in this. Transition from Soviet-style planned economy to capability-based planning and introduction of the Strategic Defence Review. So they're going to bring the Strategic Defence Review into Ukraine. They're going to solve the problem of defence procurement. They're going to reform that. They're going to solve the corruption by running anti-corruption investigations. So, okay, so far so good. But here's the bit. It's going to introduce women, peace and security agenda to the wider security sector in Ukraine, because this is the best time to do that. When the country is in absolute chaos and absolute being destroyed and destabilized, that is the time to bring the woke agenda in and make sure that you change the culture of the country under the guise of the chaos of the war.
Indeed, this is remarkable stuff. I mean, the first one was particularly odd because we're changing from central planning, Soviet-style central planning, to European-style central planning. Right? They were still talking about a planned economy. They're not talking about freedom. No, we're not having any of that. And the idea that the sort of defence reviews, which have always been associated with short-sighted thinking and the shelving of important groundbreaking and world-leading projects in this country, is what the Ukraine needs, seems to be fanciful.
Yes,